All right, my friends, how are you today? Aaron here bringing you daily horoscope for Wednesday, the 3rd of February, 2021. We've got the moon early in the morning, Eastern Standard Time, leaving the sign of Libra, leaving this place of balance and justice and trying to figure out the best compromise of how to move forward. All right. Rethinking, re-strategizing, as we have all of this energy, the sun, Mercury, Venus, Jupiter, and Saturn all in the sign of Aquarius. Okay, and then we have the ruling planet of Aquarius down in Taurus still making a loose conjunction with Mars. So we have a lot of our personal energy, relating to this instability of Uranus. Okay, even as the moon moves into the sign of Scorpio, which is about going deep within our emotions. Okay, almost reflecting back where we were on Tuesday here with this grand trine and grand kite formation of like taking a break, taking a rest sometimes of like social media, taking a break of what's happening with the other in order for us to recharge our battery so we can be best of use to the other, right? So now our emotional moon here moves deep, passionately deep into the sign of Scorpio. Okay, we're going to be recognizing our shadow right now. This is definitely a great time over the next couple of days here to sit with ourselves. Okay, we have all of this energy going on here in Aquarius, okay, which is weird. It's different. Okay, we have a fixed T-square going on. All right, all of this energy is about creating change. Okay, understand that this is Uranus conjunct Mars, Mars moving forward, creating change. Okay, Uranus creating change in something very traditional in a place where change doesn't exist often. Okay, a way we can look at this, it's like this: like we can clean our homes often. We can tidy up and clean all these things. But maybe there's this armoire or something, like grandmother's, living room, huge living room piece before, we slimmed down to these massive 50-inch TVs with these small, like streamlined, little entertainment centers or whatnot. What I'm saying? Like those big armoires or big entertainment centers or something like that, or giant bookshelves. Okay, it's like these things don't get moved often to clean behind them, to clean underneath them. How many cat toys, do you find underneath those things when you finally do move them? It's ridiculous. So anyway, so it's just like we're moving this energy that doesn't get moved often, all right? And this fixed energy, and especially with our emotional stuff, sometimes there's grudges we don't want to let go of. Sometimes there's emotional concepts or ideas that we hold on to that we don't want to let go of. We can even notice that in our breath. Sometimes when we're taking a deep inhale, we can hold our bellies in certain ways or hold our posture in certain ways that limits us to reaching that full capacity of breath. Okay, which those little spots, that we try to keep hidden for ourselves, that's where this kind of healing lies, So we have this sense of like going deep within those shadows, deep within ourselves to give ourselves the strength and energy to move the armoire, to move those big obstacles out of our way and say, what do we need? We some of us still have CD and DVD collections, but yet we stream everything from our phones. Okay. This is like, is this a time to declutter? Almost piggybacking again where we were yesterday again and saying, do I have an emotional attachment to this thing? Okay. And that's what this amount of this T-square is, emotional attachment to personal things that I no longer need. It sounds kind of funny, but like that whole J-Lo going out into like the sand and throwing off her expensive glasses, Cartiers or whatever they may have been. I don't know. Whatever the glasses might have been. Like, I understand what motivated that. And it's this energy that we're dealing with. Now, it wasn't well received to the people, on Twitter and social media. They're like, we're in a pandemic. We need all of our things. And what do you want us to go litter and all of this? It's kind of comical how people outlashed at it. But it's the token of what going in there, what the derivative, right? It's just like, what do we truly need to make an individual happy? And like, here's another thing, like going forward with this, like we put so much energy into like celebrities. We put so much into, taking the word of a celebrity or something. And sometimes they have great viewpoints. Sometimes they have great something, to say, wisdom, perspectives to offer people. No question about it. But oftentimes, we look up to these individuals so much or want to aspire to be like them. And there's a certain aspect of like understanding here, even with this astrology, sometimes the Aquarian energies wants to fit in, wants to look this certain way, be this certain way, dress the part. I have to, if I'm going to be a director, I got to wear the director's hat. I got to wear the director's coat. So people, when I walk on the set, people know I'm the director. It's got to have director on my chair. You know what I mean? My title must be shown through my expression of self, So anyways, it's like, to think though sometimes that it's like, do you think Brad Pitt ever has to go shopping for carrots or, cat food or anything like that? It's just like sometimes these individuals that we look up to are so detached, there we go, Sun over there in Aquarius, so detached from the community, yet have a huge influence on community itself. And it's interesting to just kind of play with that idea, and especially considering all of this energy here, and especially as the Sun is closer to this trine of the North Node, of rediscovering self, right? And like it's like, oh my goodness, they're on television. They must know everything, and they must have all of the answers because they're being broadcast. It's just like, let's go in for ourselves. What do we feel is the best source of education? Is it people that are so detached from the community, so detached from civilization? If they don't know community, how can they preach community? I don't know. That's just, part of this energy coming up, and especially as the Sun over the next couple of days starts to create that sextile with the South Node. Who are the community leaders that we need? Who are the community directors that we need that are pushing the agenda so that collectively we're going in the right direction? Stuff to think about, stuff to meditate upon. What do I need? Who collectively are we following? All right, my friends. Happy Wednesday, Mercury days. Mercury retrograde in Aquarius, rethinking how we're moving forward to the future. We have to retrace some steps here. There might be some things we don't want to let go of, this fixed energy. Might be some things we don't want to release, things we want to hold on to. We still have Neptune here, square these nodes as well, right? We have two T-squares going on, one with a lot of emotional, personal energy about personal material possessions, things, another behind the scenes energy of how do we want to move forward in the life that we're trying to create? Do we want to limit ourselves by the past or what has happened in the past or ideas of the past? This is how I want to, here we go. This is what's coming through as we're going to end this. Things are so different right now. It's hard to hold on to, this is how, how Harry met Sally. Or this is how we're going to get a job, or this is how we're going to create, Mars, Uranus down in Taurus, financial security for ourselves. All of these things are changing drastically and dramatically. So we're finding weird and unorthodox ways. This is very Uranian energy, very Aquarian energy. Unorthodox ways of meeting people, unorthodox ways of communicating with people, unorthodox ways of learning, unorthodox ways of teaching. There's nothing normal about life right now. So we can be fixated potentially on when things get back to normal, then I can. And emotionally, we might need to take a moment and say, things might not be back to normal for a couple of years. With this, it's like, well, what happened last year, 2020, with Saturn still within conjunction territory of Jupiter, still limiting Jupiter, Saturn squaring Mars, Saturn squaring Uranus this year, depression can go wild. Okay, then once Jupiter, at the end of this year enters Pisces come 2022, okay, this is about detachment, all right? This is like, same with Neptune. These are our two planets of expansion going in a place where there's no boundaries. So it's like the work that we're doing now, how we're being involved, how we can realize that this is life right now, that we don't have to wait for life to get back to normal to create the next step in our lives. Because once Jupiter hits Pisces, okay, we're talking about escapism. In a huge way that Neptune is doing mentally, but physically we're going to be trying to escape this reality because we don't want to deal with the cold hard truth of what's happening around us, that things are changing. Okay. So it's like we have 2021 to kind of prepare ourselves for even more of what's happening come 2022. And that can be escapism through drug use. It can be escapism through Netflix and just binge. It can be through video games, through, technology like this. It can be scrolling through media, scrolling social media, just doing anything to like get ourselves out of the present moment. So it's like over the next couple of days here with this moon T-square happening, all this fixed energy, what are we holding on to? What kind of past stuff are we holding on to? With Neptune still square to the nodes, what are we holding on to? What do we want to let go of in order to try to, create this life or manifest on a daily basis who we, imagine in our minds? Or the world that we're trying to, if we're trying to have an impact on our community. Some of us do and some of us don't, as we all play different roles in this. But there's huge manifesting and release and moving toward and breakthrough opportunity in the air, in the cosmos. And over the next couple of days, to not beat a dead horse here is a great time to reflect, to go inward and see what it is that we need to release, what it is we need to let go of. What shadows, and cobwebs need to be moved, what big obstacles, the big stuff needs to be moved to clear way, to make space for whatever's coming our way. All right. Okay. Long-winded, my friends. Have a beautiful day. Odin's Day, Wednesdays. All right. A lot of information coming in. Have a beautiful Wednesday. I love you. I wish you enough. I truly mean that. Right here from the heart. We'll see you tomorrow.